It's Sunday, October 19th, 2025, and across much of the country people are waking up to the sound of wind and rain battering their windows. The day has dawned with a sense of anticipation and unease, as weather alerts light up phones and news tickers. A massive storm system is sweeping across the United States, stretching from the Midwest all the way to the East Coast and dominating the national conversation. This isn't just rain. This is a powerful autumn clash of air masses, with dramatic temperature swings, severe thunderstorms, heavy rain, and even the first frost and freeze advisories of the season. The atmosphere is charged, and the weather is changing by the hour. Warm, humid air from the Gulf is colliding with a cold front from Canada, creating a battleground stretching from the Great Lakes to the Gulf Coast. This collision is fueling intense weather patterns, with some areas seeing record-breaking rainfall and others bracing for sudden drops in temperature. Yesterday the storm hit the nation's heartland. Today, it's marching relentlessly toward the Atlantic, threatening major cities and rural communities alike with its unpredictable force. Millions have experienced everything from summer-like heat to a sudden chill, with some waking up to balmy breezes and others to biting cold. The contrast is striking, and it's all happening within a matter of hours. The main feature, a sharp, cold front slicing through the country, fueling severe weather ahead and plunging temperatures behind. This front is the dividing line between two very different seasons, and it's moving fast. As the system moves east, threats shift, but don't disappear. So stay weather aware. The risk of flash flooding, damaging winds, and even isolated tornadoes remains, especially as the storm interacts with local geography. The soaking rains are a big story, especially for drought-stricken regions. Parched fields are finally seeing relief, but too much rain too quickly can bring its own set of problems, from flooding to washed-out roads. The severe threat is less widespread than yesterday, but still a concern. Isolated storms could still pack a punch with hail, gusty winds, and dangerous lightning. Cold air is bringing the first real taste of late autumn, with frost and freeze conditions expanding. Gardeners and farmers are on alert, as sensitive plants and crops could be at risk overnight. We'll break down what to expect, region by region, so you can prepare for the changing weather. From the heartland to the coast, we'll help you stay one step ahead. Let's dive in. Saturday, October 18th, saw severe weather from the Great Lakes to the Deep South, putting millions on alert. The main threat zone stretched from Detroit to Houston, impacting cities like St. Louis, Indianapolis, Nashville, Memphis, Little Rock, Shreveport, and Jackson. Even farther north, Louisville, Lexington, Toledo, and Detroit were in the tornado risk zone. A 5% tornado probability may sound low, but it's a serious threat in meteorological terms. Fast-moving storms brought damaging winds and the potential for brief, dangerous tornadoes. Smaller communities like Texarkana and Monroe were also in the path. The setup record warmth, high humidity, and a powerful jet stream created rotating supercells. Most storms brought damaging winds, but tornadoes were possible, keeping forecasters and emergency responders busy all night. Staying alert and having multiple ways to receive warnings was essential. Severe thunderstorms bring a range of dangers, and this system delivered them all. The main threat, damaging straight-line winds over 60 miles per hour, enough to topple trees and knock out power. These winds, often mistaken for tornadoes, are caused by downbursts, and can be just as destructive. Large hail was another concern, with reports of quarter-sized hail damaging cars, windows, and crops. Tornadoes, while less common, were still a real risk, especially fast-moving, rain-wrapped spin-ups that can strike with little warning. Any one storm could bring winds, hail, and a tornado in minutes. That's why it's critical to take every warning seriously and seek shelter immediately. Have multiple ways to get alerts: weather radio, smartphone apps, and local broadcasts. When a warning is issued, act fast, get to the lowest level, away from windows, and protect your head. The goal: stay safe from rapidly changing, dangerous conditions. Don't underestimate these storms. The temperature contrast with this storm has been dramatic, a true tale of 2 days, with weather that seemed to flip a switch overnight. Saturday brought unseasonable warmth, with highs in the 80s and 90s from Texas to Ohio, fueling severe storms and making it feel more like midsummer than mid-autumn. Cities like San Antonio, Austin, and Jackson saw record-challenging heat, while Nashville and Columbus also soared. Many people took advantage of the warmth heading outdoors, but the heat was a clear sign that change was on the way. Then the cold front arrived, and temperatures plunged. Nashville dropped nearly 20 degrees in 24 hours. The shift was sudden, catching some off guard as the air turned brisk. Chilly, northwesterly winds replaced the warm southerlies, and the temperature drop spread from the plains to the south. Gusty winds made it feel even colder, signaling a true seasonal shift. Overnight, cities near Lake Erie woke to record warm lows, but that warmth was fleeting. By sunrise, the cold air was already making its presence felt. As the front sweeps through, temperatures fall steadily, sometimes with the day's high in the morning. By afternoon, jackets and sweaters are suddenly in demand. Today, the severe threat shifts east, with isolated storms in the mid-Atlantic and Florida panhandle. These storms could bring heavy rain, gusty winds, and even some hail in spots. Behind the front, skies clear and much cooler, drier air settles in. The air feels crisp and refreshing, a stark contrast to Saturday's heat. This sets the stage for the next headline: frost and freeze risks by Monday morning. Sensitive plants and gardens may need protection as temperatures dip near or below freezing. The transition from summer to late autumn is happening fast, with nature responding in real time as leaves change and temperatures tumble. Stay prepared for rapid changes. It's a good idea to check the forecast often and keep both an umbrella and a jacket handy. Let's look at what's next, as this active weather pattern continues to keep us on our toes. With the cold front's passage, a classic Canadian air mass is taking over, colder and much drier. Clear skies tonight mean temperatures will plummet, setting up the first widespread frost and freeze event of the season. The risk began this morning in the northern plains, with lows in the 30s, and will expand eastward by Monday. For gardeners and farmers, this is critical. Frost can form at 36 degrees, a freeze at 32 degrees or below. Protect sensitive plants by bringing them in or covering them. The first freeze marks the end of the growing season for many. This cool air will stick around, with more frost and freeze advisories likely through the week, especially inland. Get out the jackets, late autumn is here. This storm system is also a major rainmaker. Welcome news for drought-stricken areas in the Midwest. 1 to 4 inches of rain fell from Illinois to Michigan, helping replenish dry soils. The Pacific Northwest is also getting soaked by a separate atmospheric river, with Seattle and Olympia expecting around an inch of rain. In the mountains of British Columbia, heavy snow, up to 5 feet, will build an early season base for ski resorts, but create avalanche risks. In the central and eastern U.S., it's all rain. No snow expected yet. The main story: heavy rain moving through the Ohio Valley and Northeast, bringing both relief and the risk of localized flooding. As the storm moves off the East Coast by Monday, drier weather returns for the workweek. The wet season is underway in the Northwest, while the Midwest and Northeast get a much-needed soaking. Watch for travel delays and flooding in low-lying areas. The precipitation story is far from over. As this powerful storm system exits the region, a broad trough of low pressure will settle in, keeping much of the eastern United States cooler than normal for several days ahead. This pattern will dominate the week, shaping temperatures and weather conditions across a wide area. Expect daytime highs mainly in the 50s and 60s from the Midwest, stretching down to the southeast. Overnight, the risk of frost and even a light freeze will persist, especially in rural and low-lying areas. Gardeners and farmers should take precautions to protect sensitive plants. The upper Midwest, Great Lakes, and Northeast will experience several crisp, chilly nights. With clear skies and calm winds, temperatures will drop quickly after sunset, making for some of the coldest nights so far this season. Meanwhile, out west, a strong ridge of high pressure will bring a stretch of warmer, sunnier weather to the plains and Rockies. The desert southwest remains dry, with little chance for rain and plenty of sunshine. Early in the week, the Great Lakes region will deal with lingering showers and overcast skies, keeping things damp and cool. The Pacific Northwest as well will continue to see periods of rain and cloudy weather. As the front moves away, the southeast will dry out, allowing for cool, refreshing sunshine and a pleasant break from recent storms. Outdoor activities will be more enjoyable as the week progresses. By late week, attention turns to the Rockies, where a new storm system may begin to develop. This system could track into the southern plains, potentially bringing another round of severe weather, including thunderstorms and gusty winds. Cities like Oklahoma City, Tulsa, and Dallas should stay alert and monitor forecasts closely as the week draws to a close, with the potential for rapidly changing weather conditions. The weather pattern remains active and unpredictable, so stay tuned for updates. Autumn's volatility is far from over, and more changes are likely in the days ahead. Looking ahead to late October and early November, expect a dynamic, volatile pattern as autumn deepens. Temperature swings will be common, warm spells followed by sharp cold fronts. For Halloween, check the forecast often. Conditions could be chilly or wet depending on your region. Long-range models hint at a potent cold front around Veterans Day, possibly bringing the coldest air yet to the central and eastern U.S. This could mean a widespread freeze and even the first snowflakes for some in the Great Lakes and Northeast. Each front digs a little deeper, bringing colder air southward. After strong fronts, expect a stretch of cold, sunny weather. Now's the time to prep your home and wardrobe for winter's arrival. While the U.S. storm dominates, we're still watching the tropics as hurricane season continues through November. The Atlantic is quiet, but a weak disturbance in the Caribbean has a low chance of developing and will move across Central America, no threat to the U.S. Once in the eastern Pacific, it could strengthen, which is common late in the season. Another tropical wave in the eastern Pacific is also being monitored, but it's far from land and not a threat. Overall, the tropics are calm, with no immediate threats to the U.S. coastline. The main story remains the powerful autumn storm and the dramatic cool down. Stay weather aware, and we'll keep you updated.